Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's Rahul here, back again with another video, and today I am here with another unscripted video. And in today's video, I just wanted to talk about the Denver Nuggets and their bright future and why you shouldn't forget about them and why they do have a bright future. So yeah, with that being said, before this video does get started, make sure to like the video if you enjoyed, as it really does help out the channel. And also make sure to subscribe if you guys are new and you guys enjoyed this type of content, so you don't miss out on any new videos like this. Plus, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and once we hit our goal, I will finally do a face reveal. And also, make sure to let me know in the comment section below if you guys want to see more unscripted videos like this. I do have some planned, but yeah, with that being said, now let's just get this video started. So obviously, the Denver Nuggets not too long ago, unfortunately, for me at least, they got eliminated by the Phoenix Suns in 4 games. Now, despite that recent elimination, in my opinion, Denver, they still got a bright future. And I do want to say this real quick before we talk about, their future and why we shouldn't forget about them. I mean, first off, we have to talk about the injuries they face. Jamal Murray, obviously, he suffered an ACL tear, I believe, in April, so he was done for the year. And then you also had guys like Will Barton dealing with injuries, PJ Dozier, and Monte Morris also dealt with some injuries. So the Nuggets were just ravaged by injuries, and I do feel like that was a big reason why they lost that series. Now, it's fair to say that the Suns still would have won, even if the Nuggets were fully healthy, but there is no denying that the Nuggets would have definitely dragged that series out to a way longer than 4. They definitely would have put up a much better fight had they been healthy the entire series. There's just no denying that. Alright, now getting to their future, first off, I want to talk about this young big three that they have. And obviously I am talking about the Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. big three. This big three, it's really, I think it has potential to be, it just has very, very high potential. And I think that all three are just great players, and that's just really the main reason why they got a bright future. All right, if you can build around all three of those guys, if you can build a good team around them, the Nuggets will be title contenders if you can do that. All right, Nikola Jokic, let's start out with him. He obviously, I don't really have to go over why he is so good. All right, Nikola Jokic, to put it simply, is amazing, and he is the best player on this team. With all due respect to the other players, there's no denying he's the best player on this team. He's obviously the reigning MVP, and he is a superstar. This past season, he averaged 26 points per game, 8 assists per game, and 11 rebounds per game, and shot 57% from the field and 39% from 3. And he's a great scorer, he's a great playmaker, great shooter, great rebounder, and is just a good offensive big man in general. And while he's not great on defense, he's not really a liability, and you can still cover for him with the right personnel. And I think he's an average defensive player. He's not exactly like a positive, elite rim protecting prime Hakeem Olajuwon, prime Bill Russell type of big man, but at the same time, he's not Enes Kanter and is not a liability on that side of the ball, or like, I guess that side of the floor, I guess, but Nikola Jokic, to put it simply, is just flat out amazing. If Denver if he can be on the Nuggets as long as he's on the Denver Nuggets, that alone will make the Nuggets at least a somewhat decent team. Then we got Jamal Murray, and Jamal Murray, I mean, I like him a lot, and there's no denying he is the second option on this team, at least for now. I mean, Jamal Murray, to put it simply, he's a really good second option. He's improved constantly throughout his career, whether it's on offense, on defense, consistency, all of that stuff. And this past season, before his injury, he was averaging 21 points per game, 5 assists per game, 4 rebounds per game, and was shooting 48% from the field and 41% from 3. And in my opinion, he's gonna be a great second option. He can score the ball well, he can shoot well, he can pass well, and he's also improved as a defensive player a lot, to the point where he's actually a pretty good defensive player, and he's getting better every year, and he absolutely turns it up in the playoffs. And as long as he can be healthy, he'll just be a great player. I think I don't really have to go over why Jamal Murray is so good. Great player in the regular season, constantly getting better, and he just absolutely turns it up in the playoffs. And he's a guy you definitely want in the playoffs, since in the playoffs, there's no doubt he's just he's like a superstar in the playoffs. I know I've been repeating myself, but yeah, Jamal Murray, to put it simply, he's a great second option. And then the final member of this big three is Michael Porter Jr. And I do know Michael Porter Jr., he did, struggle in the playoffs, but he improved a lot this year, especially, in the regular season, and he should just get better as time goes on. And this past season, he averaged 19 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, and shot 54% from the field and 44.5% from 3. He's a fantastic scorer, shooter, and rebounder, and he's improved defensively this season, and he's just going to get better on that end. And I don't expect him to be an elite defender, I definitely think he will get better as time goes on. And even though he struggled in the playoffs, as I said before, he's just going to get better as time goes on. And I mean, when you combine all of that, you get one heck of a big three. They got a lot of potential, and if they can surround them with good role players, like a team like their current team, they will be a force to be reckoned with, alright? That big three is just gonna make the Denver Nuggets their future somewhat bright. And all of them, they are relatively young. Nikola Jokic, he is the oldest player on that team, and I do believe in that big three, and I do believe he's like 26, so he's still relatively young. And to put it simply, this big three is flat out amazing. And let's not forget how good this team is when they are healthy, alright? This team was able to win the 3 seed, get the 3 seed while they were at the same time dealing with some injuries. And I do feel like that does kind of just show how good the Denver Nuggets can be. As I said before, we saw how good they were when they were mostly healthy. So, just imagine how good they can be when they were healthy. And keep in mind, even though they did get swept by the Suns, for the most part, they made those games pretty close. It's just they didn't have enough firepower. Now, they are good, and they are good enough to win now. As I said before, they could have won the Western Conference, in my opinion, with the healthy team. They got good role players like Monte Morris, who's one of the best backup point guards in the league. And while he's not great defensively, he's still really good offensively, and he's a great decision maker. If you watch the guy, you know how good of a decision maker he is. He always makes smart decisions. And you got Will Barton, who, although can be frustrating to watch, not gonna lie. Will Barton, he's a good 3-and-D wing, and he's a very valuable role player. And then Aaron Gordon, who in my opinion is kind of like the right defensive personnel to put next to Nikola Jokic. Aaron Gordon is going to be a really important player to this team moving forward, since Aaron Gordon, he's not the youngest guy, but he's still relatively young. And Aaron Gordon, he's definitely going to be asked to, be just a really good defensive player and not be a liability in offense, and just cut to the rim and be able to score when needed, and not be a liability shooting the ball. And Aaron Gordon, he's a really good defensive player, and that's going to come in handy when you have to deal with guys like Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, obviously, in the playoffs. And maybe he can do his best against some bigs. And then you got guys like Facundo Campazzo, and Facundo Campazzo, he's not amazing, but he's definitely a pretty good role player, great passer. His shooting is all right. He's not great as a shooter, but he's definitely a really good passer. And on defense, he's not Gary Payton or anything, but he's definitely a pretty decent defensive player, and he's an absolute pest. He will just frustrate people. But yeah, the Denver Nuggets are a great team. They are deep. They're good on both sides of the ball. They're a little better on offense than they are defense, but they are pretty balanced for the most part, and they got a lot of talent. And they got a great big three consisting of Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. And the fact that all three of them are pretty young, that just makes their future bright. And to put it simply, don't forget about how good the Denver Nuggets can be. They got a great team, and next year, if they can remain healthy, maybe they do end up winning the Western Conference. But I guess that's kind of all I have to say for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. If you guys are new, you guys know what to do. Like the video if you enjoyed, as it really helps out the channel, and also make sure to subscribe if you guys are new and you guys enjoyed this type of content, so you don't miss out on any new videos like this. Plus, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and once we hit our goal, I'm finally gonna do a face reveal. But yeah, with that being said, I'm out, you guys.